Otherwise, the committee has assigned the revolutionary leadership to act on its behalf to take the immediate and necessary actions to restore the state's authority during this transitional period.
Any transfer of power will not be made easily, as over the weekend, protests continued nationwide. Demonstrators cried out against the Shia Houthis' takeover of government buildings and other key locations in Sana'a. Protesters believe the Houthis' staged coup goes against the goals of the 2011 uprising, which eventually led to the ouster of President Saleh. Sadly, the nation still struggles for stability, and the Houthis are determined to take charge and further dictate Yemen's future.
And in other news, the new government in Greece continues its diplomatic offensive, aiming to change the terms of its national debt. Athens' new finance minister, Yanis Varoufakis, was in Paris yesterday with a proposal for a revised agreement with skeptical international partners. The French finance minister offered his country's backing for a deal that could include some alleviation of Greek debt, but no outright cancellation. Varoufakis said Athens had allowed itself to become addicted to debt, now at 175% of their economic output.
My concern as a European first is that this present bailout program is costing the rest of Europe, not just us, too much. We're interested in minimizing the losses to our partners. And the best way of doing that is by assisting Greece to turn a page, to reform, and to start growing so we can actually afford to pay back everything with interest.
Meanwhile, Greece's new Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras arrived in Cyprus today, making his first foreign visit to a close ally that has also been burdened by the Eurozone debt crisis. The hard-left Greek Prime Minister is not expected to find any ideological common ground with the Cypriot president. The two will hold a joint press conference shortly. And we are joined on the phone by Nathan Morley, reporter for the Cyprus Mail. Good afternoon, Nathan. Now, Tsipras picked the only Greek-speaking nation for his first visit, but Cyprus seems far from a political revolution such as the one that happened in Greece. What are the main issues facing the Greek and Cypriot leader in their meeting?
Well, hi, Meredith. First of all, this is pretty symbolic. It's very symbolic. As you know, both countries have strong political and cultural relations, first of all. And as you said, both are in the middle of very painful bailouts. And Mr. Tsipras appeals to many in the opposition here who are very encouraged by his win. They're against the bailout, which sees the bank foreclosures, the civil service having massive layoffs and privatization. So they're quite delighted with what's happening in Athens. So it would be wrong to suggest there's no common ground, but there is no revolution just yet.
I see. And do you think Cyprus is likely to follow Greece's footsteps on the bailout issue?
Good question. Remember, the Cyprus bailout's pretty small in comparison to Greece. Cyprus borrowed about 10 billion euros. I think Cyprus is excited by what's happening in Greece, but we have to see how things progress in the coming weeks. And I certainly know there is a great distaste here in Nicosia for the Troika, the international lenders. And there's also opposition against the sanctions on Russia. Now, both Nicosia and Athens see Russia as a partner, and that is a pretty thorny issue as well. So there are a lot of comparisons between the two governments, but I don't think Nicosia will be following Athens' course until they know exactly what they're doing.
Well, Nathan Morley joining us from Cyprus, thank you very much. And in other news, the Russian foreign minister met with his Indian counterpart in Beijing on the sidelines of an annual trilateral meeting of Asia's three biggest powers.